of the risks that other people take and the dangers that they face. First, he would say the typical, "Oh, I can walk out the door and I could get hit by a car," and I said, "Don't say that anymore, because that doesn't work with me." It's hard for them to come home being flippant about the war. As you know, that would bother him sometimes.
What do you mean flippant?
Flippant. Not taking the war seriously, but making some rather extremist statements, whether it's to the right or to the left. It would bother him because he knew the reality of it.
That tries to paint everything so rosy.
Definitely the media.
If you're not informed, because, you could be informed, all the information is everywhere, you can look it up. But most people get their news from television.
That's
and
right.
media is not
Or
really
whatever's scrolling across their smartphone.
Or whatever's scrolling across their smartphone. So if we're not getting informed in an everyday way, we have to get out of our way to find the information. Most people are not going to do that.
We're a country of fads. And yes, this war's gone on for, they're just bored with it. That doesn't mean the mission's accomplished of what is supposed to be done there.
Or can ever be accomplished.
But they're tired. They're bored with the news.
I think there are two sides of the media. Two sides. Depend of what channel do you see.
Oh yeah.
The Republican or Democrat.
My son's not like that. He understands what you mean. He doesn't. He knows it's not any kind of slur or anything personal.
Why would it be?
But yes, I do know many.
I can't imagine.
Many that enlisted and their families completely disowned them.
I can't even imagine.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't. And I'm against the war. But
I
can't.
I participate a lot with the Patriot Guard, and we've done a lot of welcome homes too, because we do the fun stuff too, not just the missions. And we have been at the
Patriot Guards.
Patriot Guard.
What is that? PatriotGuards.com or?
PGR, Patriot Guard Riders, or patriotguard.org. It started as an organization that protected families at military funerals from the opposing.
Oh my God! I know.
Right.
What are these groups? What is the
I
point
think
of what
they're
they're doing?
Just completely
Are they
insane.
anti-war?
They're
or?
just. I think they're just hater. They just found something they could hate.
What do they hate?
The military, and so the Patriot Guard started as just a way to protect the families at funerals.
Wow.
But now we do a lot of things. We do welcome homes, and I can't tell you how many welcome homes where we've got 100 to 300 people there. Even law enforcement shows up, and we're just welcoming home one Marine or soldier or airman or Navy, Coast Guard, one service member.
Wow.
And before they get off the plane, there's a couple more in their camo, and they're coming home and there's nobody there. They're walking out to an empty airport.
Once I was in New York, at the airport, waiting for my nephews and niece who were going to go and spend time with me in New York. And I'm waiting there, and there's a soldier who had just come home, and he's kissing his wife, his girlfriend, he's kissing this woman, they're kissing passionately, and this older man, I'll say it that way, although I'm not that young myself, really snicker at them, and what are you doing, and all this. The soldier just looked at, and I just looked at the soldier, and I said, "Welcome home, soldier." And he just turned, it brings tears to my eyes. And it was this little gesture, because they're doing what we send them to do. Whether I agree with what we send them to do or not, that's a different story. But the fact is, they're doing what we send them to do, we as a nation.
Right.
But I remember that when you said that, it's not as drastic, because he was, thank God, he was alive. But it was this thing that, you're home, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And if you want to kiss your girlfriend or your wife at the airport for 10 hours straight, go for it.
Right, it's about reconnecting to society, and that can be the first step. Just like taking a bite of an apple starts the digestive process. Just having someone meet you when you walk off that airplane, that can be the first step to healing, and that might be the answer to all this post-traumatic stress that these service members are dealing with. Just having that initial contact. Okay, welcome back to society. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
I feel so proud when I went to my kid in the airport to wait the flight. The people, incredible. That's
yes,
so.
yes,
I feel
yes, they
that.
are. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
the people say hello, welcome, bye bye. We are proud of you. They shake their hand.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And the kids come off.
Yes.
And it's such a small amount of acknowledgement, recognition.
Uh-huh.
It's just a small thing, but it means
Yeah, that's
it really
keep
does mean so
try.
much.
They keep in.
And they don't
try
expect
to do
it,
this.
especially my son.
Uh-huh.
He hates any
Really?
acknowledgement. He doesn't want the recognition. He's just doing his job. But he's always there for other military. He's not looking for acknowledgement for himself.
I have some
He's very
memory
humble.
when my son, lo voy a decir en español, estaba en Iraq. They called me and say, Mami, las temperaturas, they go down, 0 and something, 0 below 0, and say, I don't feel my hand, I don't feel my feet. Y yo, what? How that happened?
It was late September, and he was turning 22, 23. I showed up with the box at the post office, and they knew me first name basis at the post office because I was there every week sending a box. A lot of Girl Scout cookies. And they asked me, what are you sending? I said, well, it's my son's birthday. And I will never complain about the post office because in 6 days they got every box I sent around to the other side of the world, for $14. And everybody in the post office, old people, teenage girls, it was just amazing. They all said, can we sign the box? And they wrote messages all over the box.
They did?
Yes, happy birthday, we love you, come home safe, we appreciate you. It was so touching.
You know what this tells me? Going back to the story about media, that if people knew more what was going on, they would act this way, because that gives
The opportunity. They don't have the opportunity
don't have
afforded
exactly.
to them.
That's what I
I
think.
don't know. I also think that people are not that interested because they'd rather watch
American Idol.
Housewives of whatever.
Right. Jerseylicious or something. But I do think that as a whole, the human race, when most people, when they're given an opportunity to do something right, to do something that is right, they will do it.
Yeah.
It's just that they have to have the opportunity presented to them. Because as soon as the 2 years was up, he went and volunteered. Strongly.
Yeah.
I think that's true for those that re-enlist, or re-up as they call it. Not for the ones that just serve their time that they signed up for and then they're out and they're on doing other things. But the ones that re-enlist, they identify so strongly. Yes, in your
Ellos
son's
enlistaron por el segundo término, hacen firmar contratos. Cada 4 años ellos tienen que firmar un contrato de que se quedan o si no se van. Les dan esa opción. Pero mis hijos les ha gustado y han seguido, pero otros que salen y no tienen ninguna carrera. No tienen ninguna carrera, nada.
You're out and now you're spending years in the military, and so is your experience equivalent to any of the experience of civic life? But there's a movement. There's a movement that they're trying to see if they can give soldiers, a priority in certain things because of the experience they've had.
Right. My son-in-law, he spent a year and a half, and he was in the Army. He spent a year and a half in Iraq as a line medic, meaning that he was out in the middle of the firefights, trying to keep these soldiers alive. And oftentimes the medic is the first one that the bad guys want to take out, because that means that the wounded soldiers won't get any medical care. When he came back, all his experience and qualifications were similar to that of a CNA.
What is it?
CNA, home health aide.
Entrevistados, ¿hay chicos con hijos o son la mayoría solteros? Los hijos de las madres entrevistadas.
Okay, she wanted to know if the women that I've interviewed, if most of the sons and daughters have their own children. Two of them.
Have children.
Two of them have their
madre,
own
¿no?
children. And,
Ellos-
I see. It's a different. It colors the way we see this because now we're not only worried about our sons or daughters, but we're worried
And
about
those service members that are serving, it is not uncommon for the women to lose custody of their children because they were deployed. And once they come back and they're out of the military, they still cannot get custody back. And that is just absolutely shameful.
What?
They
I
can-
didn't know. You see, that would be an
Yes.
interesting project right there.
Yes.
They can lose
Custody,
their children
custody
because
of their
they're
children
deployed?
because they're
Well, how
deployed.
does that happen? Does the father have something to do with that?
Father, grandparents.
I guess they take advantage.
There are many, many cases where
O
women
sea, que hay
that
casos
happen
cuando
in-
la mujer, la
and they cannot
madre,
get their soldado.
la custodia de sus hijos.
And
Yo no
can't,
sabía
and then
eso.
come back and they're not even in the
Sí.
military anymore, so
When-
they don't represent a potential deployment
It can
again.
happen in some
And still
cases.
can't
I
get
can
their
see
children.
how.
Well, a temporary custody thing is one thing, but
Yeah,
once,
permanent.
once the service member or woman, men or women come back, then certainly they should be able to regain custody of
Wow.
their children and not be penalized for going and doing the job that they were sent to do. It's just shameful.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
How come we never hear about that? At least I
No.
never hear about this, and I'm constantly reading or listening or. Well,
Facebook is a tremendous social utility. Tremendous.